Good evening. Thank you so much for always keeping it TV47. This is TV47 Weekend Edition on a beautiful Friday. Rather sad looking at what has played out in the nation. But all the same, the show must continue. And this night on Disruptive Friday, we'll be just looking at just how much the e-commerce space has transformed the business markets right here in the country and beyond. We'll be engaging Amos Kibani, who is the CEO of Tausi App, an application that gets, business people as well as clients to us, that is of the beauty world, to a space, a common ground that allows them to train but equally get to access business. That's basically what we'll be looking at as we also just unravel how much so the e-commerce space has transformed this space of business. Welcome on board. My name is Linda Alela. Once again, this is TV47 Weekend Edition on Disruptive Friday. We have lots lined up for you, a comprehensive coverage of the stories that are making headline. But first, the highlights. On TV47 Weekend Edition tonight, 3 dead, several injured in Embakasi gas plant blast.
Kwanza nikaambia wenye walikuwa hapa, kulikuwa na Masai hapa. Nikaambia mwambie asiakishe gari, aache kuakisha gari. Yeye tu anang'ang'ana.
Also tonight, government to crack down on illegal gas filling stations after Embakasi blast.
Ona ile hasara imetuletea. Watu wamekufa, watu wamejeruhiwa, mali imeharibika. I want to call on the people of Kenya to be responsible and to stop shortcuts in life.
And we bring you the story of Nick Vujicic, who despite being born without limbs, is soaring high.
I even attempted suicide at age 10 because I didn't feel like God was real or that he loved me. How could God have a plan for a man without limbs to be his hands and feet? It didn't make sense.
All right, TV47 Weekend Edition begins right away. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Rhoda Nyamai. The hashtag Disruptive Friday will be sampling some of your comments as we continue with the broadcast and more so as we get to that discussion on Disruptive Friday. But first off, on a somber note, 3 people have been confirmed dead while many others are nursing injuries after an illegal gas filling station exploded in Nairobi's Embakasi estate. The explosion is said to have started as a lorry carrying a gas cylinders caught fire. And as Sheila Chilagat reports, 2,000 people were also left homeless.
Embakasi residents are still in shock. They are still coming to terms with what happened Thursday night after a truck loaded with gas exploded and set off a fire that burned warehouses and homes. Alfred Juma is recuperating from injuries he got in the stampede that occurred yesterday at the time of the explosion.
Mwishowe hii gari ikatokezea huko hili. Tukaisimamisha pale tukaambia kwamba usipite because gasi ilikuwa ni nyingi sana kwa hewa. Yeye akakata na akaenda mbio. Alipofika hapa ndipo gari lizima na ilipozima akajaribu kuakisha ya kwanza. Nikaambia wenye walikuwa hapa, kulikuwa na Masai hapa. Nikaambia mwambie asiakishe gari, aache kuakisha gari. Yeye tu anang'ang'ana. Alipojaribu mara ya 3.
Not too far away from this spot is the Skyline Estate. Ben Malasi, who resides here, says he got injured whilst trying to save people from running towards the fire.
Ikilipuka inanyesha kama moto pandei. Manake kwa watu wengine tu wamejipata anatembea na anajipata amechomeka miguu.
With property of a known value destroyed, some residents are already counting their losses.
Ningeomba serikali itusaidie kwa sababu hakuna pale kina kukaa. Hakuna chakula na hakuna nini. Hakuna biashara yote imeisha.
Over 200 people with critical injuries were rushed to nearby hospitals. Here at Mama Lucy Kibaki Hospital, 157 victims are being treated. Meanwhile, a command center has been set up to help the victims, with the World Health Organization donating over 4 million shillings worth of trauma kits to treat those injured. As residents continue to pick up the pieces from what was left from yesterday's inferno, their call is for the government to ensure that such businesses are transferred to sparsely populated areas to avoid disaster of this magnitude in the future. Sheila Chelangat for TV47 in Embakasi, Nairobi.
And the liquefied petroleum gas filling plant that left 3 people dead after a blast was operating illegally. The Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, that is EPRA, says it rejected several permit applications since the facility did not meet the required standards. And as William Wege reports, questions linger how the plant operated openly even when the regulator had intensified crackdown on illegal filling stations.
This is the aftermath of the deadly midnight blast in the Embakasi area. The magnitude is all clear. 3 dead, several injured, and property worth millions destroyed. As investigations into what happened continue, it is emerging that the LPG plant was operating illegally, with requests to relevant government agencies to get license being rejected 3 times. In a statement, the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, EPRA, revealed that the authority received applications on 19th March, 20th June, and 31st July of 2023, but rejected all of them as they did not meet the criteria of an LPG storage and filling plant within that area. EPRA further stating that, and I quote, "The main reason for the rejection was failure of the designs to meet the safety distances stipulated in the Kenya standard." End of quote. EPRA also rejected the said application because of the high population density around the proposed site, the regulator stating that, and I quote, "The applicant was requested to submit a qualitative risk assessment clearly indicating the radiation blast profiles in the unfortunate case of an explosion like the one that happened yesterday." End of quote. EPRA has confirmed that the applicant never provided the requested QRA, resulting in the rejection of the applications.
Sasa ora ile hasara imetuletea. Watu wamekufa, watu wamejeruhiwa, mali imeharibika. I want to call on the people of Kenya to be responsible and to stop shortcuts in life, because these shortcuts cannot work. And every shortcut has a potential of backfiring.
Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna, in a post on his socials, weighing on the incident, saying, and I quote, "Once Senate resumes, I will bring the EPRA team before the Energy Committee to explain how this was allowed to happen. We will be demanding a mapping of all such facilities and tightening rules for operation of gas filling stations to ensure this does not happen again." How the company continued with its operations illegally is baffling, since EPRA is very keen in enforcing the law. A section of leaders now calling on the government to ensure those responsible are brought to book.
We are urging the state agencies like EPRA, who are charged with that responsibility to do their job, and for Kenyans to be watchful where they find this kind of operations, to inform the relevant authorities.
So far, 2 people have been arrested. Mwegi William, TV47.
And now to health matters, and professionals in the health sector are proposing changes to the Social Health Act. While submitting their proposal to the Ministry of Health, leaders drawn from unions representing health workers claim that the 2.75% deduction for the new Social Health Insurance Fund is punitive. They also want fund members to go from mandatory health checkups and screening, as Elizabeth Atinu tells us.
Friday, healthcare professionals appeared before the Ministry of Health officials and the Social Health Authority to submit their proposals on the new health law, where they called for the amendment of Section 17 of the Act, which states that Kenyans will contribute 2.75% of their gross income to the Social Health Authority.
But we're saying that's already a taxed money. This issue where you are doing it is amounting to double taxation, it will still be arising to a court case. So please avoid it. If you avoid it, consider it to be based on the basic salary.
We know that the other insurance, the NHIF had regulations had 90 days, yet they were still not complying to that. So it should come out. How long is it? Well, our proposal is 30 days that Within 30 days, the services have been provided, given that now we are embracing technology.
They also want answers on the criteria to be used to identify low and high income households.
You are asked how much you earn. First thing you do is to cut your salary by half and start digging from there. So we do not want that. So you're saying the best way is to evaluate you as a person. How do you live? After on Friday evening, where do you go?
Public health specialists want the Social Health Act to make it mandatory for Kenyans to go for health checkups and screening in order to curb the spread of non-communicable diseases like cancer.
If we had public health labs, we could have saved those kids, but they are dying. We are dying of preventable diseases because we are not investing in the right places as a country.
Some unionists like nurses, clinicians and nutritionists have differed with Section 41 and 58 of the Act, saying they lack representation in the Social Health Authority.
As much as the benefits package may be prescribed by the CS in consultation with the board, but it should also include the other stakeholders as well.
Some stakeholders have proposed amendments in the Digital Health Act, especially the provision that makes it mandatory for 7-year-old children to register their biometrics, saying this poses a potential threat to data privacy.
But when we are going to do telemedicine, how will the women who do not have access, illiterate, unless we are explained very well?
The health unionists also want the 72-hour pre-authorization time revised to 24 hours. On Monday next week, the Ministry of Health and members of the Social Health Authority will lead a public participation forum in Makueni County. Elizabeth Atieno, TV47, Nairobi.
Well, listen to this. Azimio leader Raila Odinga now claims it's a plot between the executive and the judiciary to appoint a former IEBC chairperson Wafula Chebukati and his predecessor Ahmed Isaac Hassan as, of course, Court of Appeal judges speaking during hours after the judiciary declared 11 vacancies in the Court of Appeal, and the appointment again is on the IEBC. Raila claims that the plot was hatched during a recent meeting between the judiciary, Parliament and the executive.
Addressing the press in Nairobi, Azimio leader Raila Odinga claims there is a well-coordinated plan to appoint former IEBC chairman Wafula Chebukati and his predecessor Ahmed Isaac Hassan as Court of Appeal judges, with an intention to later elevate Chebukati as the Chief Justice before 2027 general elections.
Agreement. The 5 High Court judges and 2 Court of Appeal judges will be for Mr. Ruto to forward to the JSC. And he floated the names. Immediate former IBC chairman, Mr. Wafula Chebukati, and former IBC chairman, Ahmed Isaac Hassan, are to be appointed as Court of Appeal judges, with Chebukati later being elevated as the Chief Justice before the 2027 general elections.
His address coming just hours after the Judicial Service Commission invited applications for the position of 11 Court of Appeal judges. Raila now alleges that judiciary is being held captive by executive.
Completely captured the Supreme Court and now wants to target the problematic lower courts by staffing them with loyalists with the cooperation of the Chief Justice. After filling the executive with people of questionable integrity and capacity, and who will remain eternally grateful to him.
In the Gazette notice dated January 30th, 2024, the Judicial Service Commission says the appointments will be made in accordance with Article 166, Section 1, Subsection B, and Section 2 and 4 of the Constitution, and Section 30, Part 5, and the first schedule of the Judicial Act 2011. Further, the applicants ought to have at least 10 years of experience as Superior Court judge, 10 years of experience as distinguished academic or legal practitioner, or such experience in other relevant legal field.
The presidency cannot allocate any money to the judiciary. Madam Koome knows this, and yet has willingly proceeded to associate herself with and endorse an illegality. Where Kome sought money from the State House and not from Parliament, only she can explain, but it spells doom.
Further, Raila condemned the move by National Assembly Speaker Dr. Moses Masika Wetangula to file notice of appeal challenging the decision by Court of Appeal to declare the housing tax unconstitutional, insisting that the housing project is being imposed on Kenyans. Elizabeth Mutuko, TV47, Nairobi.
Thank you, Liz, for that. And now the Court of Appeal has released Baby Segene's grandmother, saying that the prosecution failed to prove its case beyond reasonable doubt. The woman, who was imprisoned for causing grievous bodily harm to the baby body or to the baby's body, that is by gouging out his eyes. Justice Waweru Keria, sitting in the appeal court, equally said that the prosecution did not prove the case beyond reasonable doubt to have the grandmother, Rael Nyakirario, serve 5 years in prison. The other two, that is Pacifica Nyakirario and Alex Ochogo, did not appeal.
So as you can see, the lady is happy after having been acquitted of the charges of grievous harm leveled against her. The court has today come out clear and said that there was no evidence at all against the accused person. One of the witnesses alluded to the fact that she assisted the principal offenders after they had finished to conceal evidence. But even that one, the court has said that the investigations were not properly carried to show that she actually participated even in concealing the evidence in this matter.
Ninaenda nyumba yangu, mimi hakuna kitu. Si mimi peke yake nyumba yangu. Hakuna mtoto, si mtoto hii ni mchukuu, ni yangu. Mungu anatoa nyumba ya chera. Asanti, anakoka saiti. Hakuna maneno ngine. Mimi anasaidia. Maneno yangu anakoka saiti. Safi. Si Mungu anapeleka wewe. Anakusaidia. Mungu anasaidia. Ile na mtoto ile ni mzuri.
Oh, interesting. Now, tonight, we bring you the inspirational story of Nick Vujicic, who, despite being born without limbs and despite the odds, turned out to become a best-selling author, an evangelist, and a motivational speaker. Take a look.
I felt the Lord wanting me to reach all the world.
He is most definitely one of the most inspirational people on the face of the earth. If you can't get a miracle, become one. Nick Vujicic was born in 1982 with tetra amelia syndrome, a rare disorder characterized by the absence of arms and legs. Despite his parents' initial shock, they raised him, but as he grew up, he had some tough and trying times.
I even attempted suicide at age 10 because I didn't feel like God was real or that he loved me. How could God have a plan for a man without limbs to be his hands and feet? It didn't make sense.
This was a turning point for Nick, who found his truth in the Word of God.
But as I was praying and going through the ups and downs, Nick, the little boy, became a teenager and realized that I always have a choice to be angry at what I don't have or be thankful for what I do have, and to believe in Jesus as my Savior was the greatest decision I've ever made in my life.
Vujicic found his way into evangelism and motivational speaking after a chance encounter with his high school janitor, who encouraged him to use his talents to spread the word of God.
The janitor of all people came up to me, who was cleaning the toilets, who said, I believe that God is going to send you all around the world to preach the gospel. And I laughed at him. I said, I'm not a speaker. I don't have a story. He says, yes, you do. And he arranged my first speech. And when I started seeing people, how they cry and how they were touched, I realized, wow, maybe God does want to take me around the world.
Something, however, was missing. and in the summer of 2010, he met the love of his life and married her in 2012. They are blessed with 4 children.
I love Jesus with all my heart, will always love Jesus more than my wife, but my wife completes me.
He has written several books, including one with his wife, as he continues to spread the word of God all over the world. He has traveled to 81 countries to date. Wojciech has one message.
For anyone watching right now and you're depressed and anxious, please know that Jesus loves you. God has a plan for you. Never give up on him. He will never give up on you. He can take your broken pieces and do something beautiful with them.
Kisewa Emory reporting for TV47, Nairobi.
Thank you, Kiseo, for that piece that reminds us that, all hope is not lost despite the tough times. Now, solid waste management is a challenge for many county governments, mainly due to financial challenges and lack of commitment. Well, in Nakuru, a local community in the sprawling Bondeni estate is stepping up to the challenge by simultaneously dealing with the solid waste disposal and making a fortune at the same time. Our very own Chichi Josephine tells us more.
Solid waste management is a major environmental and public health concern across Kenya and in the world. Many cities are grappling with overflowing dump sites from uncontrolled discarding of waste. In Nakuru County, local communities are taking an interesting approach to this issue, literally turning trash into cash.
This is a plastic bin. This bin is made out of plastic bottles. We collect them from the drain storms, then we take and we start to make them.
We're trying to be innovative on matter of plastic. Plastic is a menace. Polepole tunatengeneza mashimo ama tunadunga na tunaingiza hiyo waya ama tunapitisha hiyo waya kwa hayo mashimo ili tutengeneze the fence itself. Now we use this method kutengeneza nyumba, like our office here. It's made of these plastics.
They do not stop there, but have also gone a notch higher in environmental conservation by manufacturing briquettes from a blend of charcoal dust and cow dung as one way of reducing reliance on firewood, thus reducing destruction of forests.
Tunatumia waste ya makaa kutengeneza makaa. Tunatumia waste ya makaa na samadi, tunachanganya na maji. Kwa sasa hatuna uwezo wa kupata machine, ndio maana tunatengeneza na mkono. But nilikuwa naomba kama tunaweza pata mtu mwenye anaweza tusaidia na at least kikundi yetu ka grow tupate mashini, tutafurahia sana kwa sababu at least ile ya mashini inatoka kitu mzuri kushinda hii ya mkono. Uzuri ni kwamba haina carbon. Haina carbon kabisa. Na so ile watu wanalala huwa wanaweka hata kama moja na itawasukuma hatasikia inzi umbu ikiwasumbua.
The Bondeni community, which brings together more than 10 environmental conservation lobbies, is promoting a recycling culture that can help address the county's waste management challenges.
Kuna watu ambao wako 4th floor, kuna watu ambao wako even 5th floor. Tuko na wao kwa hichi kikundi. Tuko na watu wa jinsia ya kike na ya kiume. So we usually talk about life.
We're trying to make our environment clean. We are conserving our environment through collecting these plastics and reusing them.
28-year-old Consolata Wanjohi says while most people consider discarded plastic bottles as rubbish, her environment conservation group sees it as raw material for pure art.
Inatusaidia as young women trying to make up families. It helps us, at least we are contributing something in our family homes, making sure that gender-based violence is reduced.
She works with 17 women, mostly from the veranda of her home, turning the discarded plastic bottles into fashionable, colorful laundry baskets, flower vases, shoe racks, shopping baskets, and utensil racks, among other household goods.
In one day tunaweza tengeneza mbili, like 2. Na kama ni kuuza, It doesn't go for much, maybe just 200 shillings, but tunauzia kwa community members.
The plastic bottles are collected from local businesses and waste centers. They are also retrieved from waterways. They are then sorted according to color and size after the cleaning process before being transformed into entirely new products. In another innovative approach, this group is also turning plastic bottles into materials for landscaping, building homes and constructing perimeter walls, and in the process reducing the need for other more expensive building materials, particularly sand and concrete blocks.
Hii plastic ndio inaadhiri ulimwengu mzima. Ukiingia kwa lake, imejaa kwa lake. Ukiangalia kwa kwa drainstorms, hii plastic ndio inasumbua kila siku. So we thought that tutatumia hii plastic kutengeneza ajira.
The group is also involved in recycling old tires sourced from garages, as well as those dumped by the roadside.
This is more than 50 pieces of avocado hapa.
Nakuru Governor Susan Kika says the county's population is growing at a rate of between 7 to 8% per year, which means more waste is produced. However, she maintains that her administration will ensure that any valuable waste does not find its way to the dump site.
Nakuru City generates about 700 tons of solid waste annually, of which 20% is plastic. And most are not lucrative for recycling and upcycling, thus ending up as a menace. Moreover, single-use plastics clog our stormwater drains, causing flooding in case of heavy downpours.
Today, more than 400 million tons of plastic waste are produced globally every year. This plastic waste can take hundreds of years to decompose and often ends up in the oceans and waterways, endangering marine ecosystems and ultimately harming human health. Chichi, Josephine TV 47.
We get sporty, and Africa's 100 meters champion Ferdinand Omanyala will kickstart his 2024 athletics season in France. The Commonwealth champion participates in the Miramas Metropole Silver Indoor meeting this evening. The sprint maestro, together with compatriot Marco Tino, will compete in the 60 meters race. Omanyala equaled his national record in the distance in 2023, and the two are preparing for the World Athletics Indoors Championships set for early March in Glasgow, Scotland. Renowned 400 meters hurdles runners, that is Wiseman Were and Boniface Mweresa, are also in action tonight. Meanwhile, Sports Cabinet Secretary Ababu Namwamba is in France to sign a memorandum of understanding between the National Olympic Committee of Kenya, that is NOCK, Miramas City and the Miramas Metropole Club. The city will be the official Team Kenya Olympics Paris camp, and of course the state-of-the-art Miramas Metropole facilities include an indoor track, football and rugby pitches, tennis courts, outdoor warm-up track and boxing and taekwondo gyms. These facilities served as the training ground for the national team, that is last year. NOCK is expected to send a team, that is next month, for athletes to acclimatize before the last batch is released in June ahead of July extravaganza.
Training imekuwa poa the last 3 months. It's been tough, but tumekuwa tuna keep up because it's been that's the most important part of preparation, because that's where you build. Because now when you start competing, you'll be traveling, moving to different countries, and there's no time. I mean, the only thing you're doing is just maintaining it. So training imekuwa poa, and we've built the best. So we're now getting into the most monumental part. That's the monetizing part of the season, where we compete, where we show the world where we are, where we put the country on the map, and where we make money. Yeah.
The 2024 Sirikwa Classic Cross Country will be held on Saturday morning at Lobo Village. Kapseret constituency, Uasin Gishu County. Daniel Simiyu, who is fresh from winning the police cross-country, confirmed his participation in the senior men's 10 kilometers race. In the ladies' 10 kilometers event, Prison's champion Lillian Kasait will be the athlete to beat. Meanwhile, race director Barnaba Korir officially welcomed 29 foreign athletes, that is from 15 countries, who will also be participants.
Here in Kenya. I'm getting so relaxed here because everyone is so friendly, and I just like the atmosphere, and it's really beautiful running conditions. There's a lot of local heroes here in Kenya, so I will have the opportunity to compare myself to them, but they're running really fast, so I hope I will be satisfied with my results anyway.
Tomorrow it's a matter of running and it's a matter of working hard because we have a strong field. I'm just going to try my best.
Kuja kupambana ni vizuri kuja kujichangana na Wakenya kama kina Ebenyo pamoja na wengine. Naamini nitapambana na mimi nifanye vizuri.
Well, 29 minutes past the top of the hour. How about we take a quick short break and then we come back with that crucial discussion that even as we evolve or technology evolves, it's important that we also just look at how crucial it has played in terms of making the best of the world of business. And that is on the discussion that is in relation to the disruptive aspect of e-commerce and just making the best of these businesses that people hold online. After this break.
Wanasema wasemao kuwa elimu ni bahari haishi kwa kuchotwa. Wakati mwingi natangamana na wanafunzi madarasani, sio kama mwalimu bali kama nahodha kwenye kipindi cha tasnia ya elimu. Na iwapo utanikosa madarasani, basi utanipata nyanjani nikisaka habari zenye usawa, ufasaha na ukweli. Na iwapo utanikosa nyanjani, bila shaka utanipata studioni hapa nikisoma habari na kuendesha mijadala mikomavu. Mimi ni Andrin Kilemi, mpenzi wa lugha ya Kiswahili na elimu kwa jumla.
They say money makes the world go round. So let's slow things down a bit. Put things in perspective. From the markets to the streets to the stocks, we make the complex comprehensible. Join me, Hibak Said, on TV47 Business News for market insights like never before.
The news that matters the most is the one that hits close to home. When disasters strike, we are there to inform you. When the bullets are flying, we tell you who's shooting and why. Reporting on your victories, your health, your money, your security, your past, present, and future. We are interested in telling the stories of creativity, hard work, and resilience that you are known for.
That is our job. This is my job. My name is Victor Moyakane, and it's my honor to bring you this news this way every Thursday night on the home of Untold Stories.
Katika majengo haya, hapa ndipo sheria zinapotungwa na zinapopakuliwa. Nitakuletea viongozi mbalimbali, mirengo mbalimbali, wote kwa pamoja
wakipika na kupakua. Tutawapa nafasi kuweza kuangazia changamoto na mafanikio ya ugatuzi katika ukumbi wa siasa kila siku ya Jumanne kuanzia saa 1 kamili na kuendelea.
Toka eneo hili la Naivasha kwenye kaunti 032, gatuzi la Nakuru.
Kutoka kaunti ya Elgeyo Marakwet, kaunti 028.
Nikiripotia runinga ya TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Wajir.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Turukana.
Kwa matukio yote yanayojiri katika kaunti hii 012.
Kutoka kaunti nambari 1, kaunti ya Mombasa.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Lamu.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka Kisii County.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Machakos.
Kutoka kaunti hii ya Trans Nzoia.
Kaunti 038.
Kutoka gatuzi nambari 029, kaunti ya Nandi, chemichemi ya mabingwa.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Kakamega.
Itakuwa nikiripotia runinga ya TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Bungoma.
Jina langu ni Paula Munio.
Willy Dennis Jiru.
Fabian Kibet.
Mimi ni Hashim Jimal.
Mimi ni Kitio Mika Masai.
John Javakiania.
Jina langu ni Abdulaziz Nameka.
Mimi ni Kombo Alfayo.
Jina langu ni Nicholas Mbai.
Isaac Famba.
Mimi ni Wanji Sosti.
Jina langu ni Arnold Adidi.
Jina langu ni Chris Bet.
Jina langu ni Violet Auma.
Na TV47 inapotamba, mimi Sheila Chelangat nitakuwa nikiripotia maswala yanayokuhusu wewe kila kuchao.
Every Thursday 7:30 p.m. unapata nafasi kufahamu viongozi mbalimbali kutoka humu nchini, kuanzia wabunge.
Through Changa, we could get money to pay our rent, pay our bills.
When I was growing up, water was a problem where I was born and bred. We wake up at 3 to go and look for water.
Magavana
must be ready to be a tough woman and not a woman to be walked over.
Kwa hivyo
you respect people.
Dari ya mfahamu kiongozi, story na historia, na mi Elizabeth Mutuku.
Well, if it is happening, then we are definitely talking about it on TV47's Disruptive Friday. Don't miss a moment on the most technological and disruptive moment on TV.
From groundbreaking AI breakthroughs to the latest ingenious innovations, we have it all covered for you. Get ready to see the future unfold right in front of your eyes. My name is Eric Munene.
And my name is Linda Alala, and we not promise nothing short of great news experience.
The thing about coffee is it means different things to different people.
To some, it is what gets them going every day. The ability to transform groggy mornings into vibrant beginnings.
To others, it is a fuel that drives them through the day. The thing about coffee is that we like it differently. I love mine with a little bit of a sweetener.
And I love mine strong.
For me, the darker, the better.
The thing about coffee is it gives a platform for sharing news and reviews.
The best opportunity for a great conversation.
It is the perfect way to kickstart your day. And here, we serve it hot.
Let Kids on the Block take you to the most fantastic place on television. Where anything can happen.
Today I have an interesting story about the lion and the mouse. Today we are going to prepare mug cake.
We are having Hilda. We're going to be making this worm, and it's a bookmark.
Catch Kids on the Block every Saturday at 9 a.m.
Everyone is obsessed with property. But when should you buy? How do you know you're getting a good deal? And is there ever a good time to sell?
You never go wrong with real estate.
Go wrong on paint, when you go wrong on lighting, that's it, you're done. But when you go right on painting and the paintwork, and you go right to the lighting, it depends also with the setup. So you can do a lot of lighting at a wrong setup.
Now the county government comes in and says that you have developed in a place that you should not go this way, and the county decides to demolish.
Right.
Where do you rent?
On The Realtor, we don't just showcase the latest properties, we also focus on topics affecting the real estate industry so you know what to do and when to do it. Catch The Realtor every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m.
Wanasema wasemao kuwa elimu ni bahari haishi kwa kuchotwa. Wakati mwingi natangamana na wanafunzi madarasani, sio kama mwalimu bali kama nahodha kwenye kipindi cha tasnia ya elimu. Na iwapo utanikosa madarasani, basi utanipata nyanjani nikisaka habari zenye usawa, ufasaha na ukweli. Na iwapo utanikosa nyanjani, bila shaka utanipata studioni hapa nikisoma habari na kuendesha mijadala mikomavu. Mimi ni Andrin Kilemi, mpenzi wa lugha ya Kiswahili na elimu kwa jumla.
They say money makes the world go round. So let's slow things down a bit. Put things in perspective. From the markets to the streets to the stocks, we make the complex comprehensible. Join me, Embakasi, on TV47 Business News for market insights like never before.
The news that matters the most is the one that hits close to home. When disasters strike, we are there to inform you. When the bullets are flying, we tell you who's shooting and why. Reporting on your victories, your health, your money, your security, your past, present, and future.
All right, we are back to Disruptive Friday. And we all understand just how, the e-commerce world is vital in transforming the business landscape and, of course, presenting opportunities for startups and equally pre-existing markets to flourish. So, of course, we have seen that successful businesses will navigate the evolving digital landscape and leverage technology to meet the changing demands of consumers. So today, as I had said, that we have a guest that is Amos Kimani, who is the CEO of Tausi Application, a beauty tech company that is operating in the gig economy to ensure that beauticians as well as, their clients access quality training and jobs using the online space. Amos, thank you so much for creating time.
Thank you.
So why did you stop singing? I am not here to lecture you. Or do you still?
It sounds like you knew me before.
I know you pretty much well, for those of us who do not know him. Yes, whereas, I mean, at least we used to love your music. So why from music to this space?
So I was a gospel artist, actually one of the top gospel group artists in Kenya between 2013 all the way to 2018. But I noticed I used to want to get glammed on the field before I shoot the music video.
Like we do.
There's something about a fresh cut.
Yes.
Yeah, and I had a team of like 30 dancers.
Right.
So I would spend like some $300 on them. But now finding the makeup artist to agree to come on set, it was always hectic. So some would say musicians don't pay.
Yeah.
We're going to use your name as a product placement, and then you can get more clients. Others want transportation, Nairobi to Tumangi fare.
Right.
So I'm not sending you money and I don't know you. So, but every time I order an Uber, the guy would just drop me home, no conversation. So I started asking myself, how come drivers are less, but they always feel taken care of? Like there's a system for them.
Right.
Beauticians are more in beauty colleges and all that, but no one really takes care of them. They are always fearing whether they'll do the service and then not get paid.
Okay.
So I tried to match the two, and nilikuwa nimesoma.
Right.
So I was like, okay, let me try this angle now.
Okay.
And SOC was fading out as well. So I think it was just God's timing. Yeah.
So what's this about the e-commerce space that you are now doing? Because it's one thing to identify the gap in the market. It's another to come up with a solution. And how long has this, solution been on board? And just how much of a solution has it offered? Would you literally, say that this is how much it has come in to assist and help?
I would, yeah. So ideally, my plan in the beginning was to merge, like copy the Uber model, and replace cars with beauticians. So people used to call it the Uber of beauty when we were starting, because you would log in on the app, you would see beauticians that are closer to you. When I say beauticians, I mean everyone who does beauty services. That is cosmetology. You can get your hair done. We don't do massages. Massages are a whole different sector. So you can shave anywhere you are. You can do makeup, but makeup is like our Coca-Cola.
Right.
So all these other brands are different. Now, ideally, that's what we did when we started. But we figured out it's easier to have your own model. The business talks back to you in time. So we figured out it's easier to just have our own model. So we created Tausi app. So Tausi is a beauty tech platform that connects quality beauticians to clients. We are starting to leverage on AI now, meaning you can post a photo of yourself. It's going to tell you why your lips are dry. These are the products you can use. These are the top 10 beauticians on this platform that we can book for you. It does everything for you.
Right.
It's like a ChatGPT, but for beauty specifics only.
So that means if I am, say, a musician and I'm going to shoot somewhere in Mombasa, perhaps just looking for the ocean and all that and the beaches, I don't have to carry a beautician from Nairobi.
No.
It will easily tell me that in Mombasa, then there's one that can actually be of assistance.
So it shows you
the ones
that
within this vicinity.
Actually, approximate 15 kilometers. Because we don't want people coming from far, because it's extra charges. Now, there are things we've been doing amazingly. We are shaving more than 25 boarding boys' high schools inside the school compound. So this is some hygiene form of making sure, because boys are dirty in school. Ask me, I know.
And you also do not want to send them out to go and be shaved. They can disappear.
Or go do alcohol and then come back after like 6 hours.
Right.
We have partnerships with tours and travel companies. So the next time you're going to Mombasa, you can select a package that has manicure in the room. That's the only place we do massages. We also have partnerships with churches, leveraging on me as a gospel artist. I had a lot of networks with churches. So I know who's getting married in March, and we just started Feb.
Wow.
So those are the B2B aspects of the things we do. Also, we have partnerships with guys like Bolt. They move our beauticians from point A to point B at 30% off so that they don't get late. It's actually cashless. They don't pay, they can pay end of the month. We also have a partnership with Maybelline, meaning beauticians buy products. They buy products at 30% off, meaning if you're a beautician on Tausi app, it's cheaper for you to purchase products.
Online security is a concern, and I'm glad that you mentioned something to do with that. Just how do you ensure that there's safety for you customers? It's fine. You could be working with brands that are already established. But I mean, these beauticians, you perhaps have no idea of where they come from, their background, in the aspect of security. So just how do you, guarantee the clients that are going to buy in and get into the application application and seek these services,
Yeah.
but equally the security of these beauticians, because if I'm going to come from this place to somebody else's home so that I can give them the service, I mean, there needs to be some element of security.
Yeah, so that's a problem we started sorting out from day one.
Okay.
Us partnering with Bolt and other ride-hailing companies has helped with security, because common sense, if somebody is dropping this beautician, it means somebody knows where they are. And Tausi has a Google map, so we know that beautician, where they are, at what facility. We can see which services are ongoing, which ones are finished, and which ones are already scheduled to happen.
Okay.
So we know where our beauticians are. Number two, I think mostly, I forgot the last question.
Well, of course, it was basically about security.
Yeah, it's just security. And that actually allows us to meet our beauticians mostly, at least once a month, in our compound. So they come to our office, we allow them to create content, tell us the issues that they have gone through. So we are not building a business blindly. So we're building it based on what the beauticians are saying, the issues they go through, and we cater for that as well.
The reach is very important. Then one in Kenya would perhaps want to know, at what point can I extend, to get these services? Is it a global market? And I know that the online or the e-commerce space is largely about getting, businesses to the global space. But just how expanded are you?
I actually just remembered the last question. We have a partnership with more than 200 beauty colleges. So meaning we are not the ones doing the verification process.
Okay.
So once you're onboarded on Tausi app, we connect you, because most beauticians are learned from YouTube, University of YouTube.
Yeah.
So most of them don't have certificates. So what we do is we connect them to the closest beauty college that's closer to them, and they get a certificate for cheap, definitely, because it's a partnership. And that helps with the verification process. Your question on how big we are in the whole entire country right now. We've actually been doing this for almost 3 years now. We just launched in Tanzania in 2023. Recently, we were in Cape Town, so we just launched in Cape Town as well. We did a masterclass over there. We were part of the Startup World Cup, which we came in second place, which is like the biggest stage for startups. So we took that opportunity while we were there to do a masterclass and onboard beauticians. And we are also Delaware Incorporated, meaning we are scaling to the States as well.
The online space is quite open to very many people.
Yeah.
Why would you suppose one would want to get into such an application to get all these services, as opposed to just going on some of these applications that are there? You go to Instagram and perhaps just search, ask around and all that.
Yeah. So I think you would choose Tausi because we have the first movers advantage, meaning we've done a lot of errors in the beginning. We've figured our stuff out very fast. And then our beauticians, we have something called the Tausi touch, meaning quality control is on a very top-notch service. If you get services from beautician A and get the same service from beautician B, it's going to have the same similar feeling.
Okay.
So our beauticians are very well taught. They dress well. They speak for themselves.
Okay, before we come to the general aspects of the world of e-commerce, briefly, could we just be walked through what it is the application looks like? I mean, how do you get it in the event that you'd want to get it? Do you incur any form of charges in the event that you are working with them, or perhaps you're trying to seek services there? How do you get to make the payments? How do you get to just transact business?
Awesome.
Okay.
So that's my phone right there.
Okay.
I hope no text pops up. So you open the Tausi app.
Okay.
You can see how the UI UX looks like.
All right.
It's a couple of ladies. So you can create an account either as a professional or as a client.
Okay.
So I'm gonna choose.
So one must have an account.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna log in as a client. I'm gonna put in my details.
Okay.
You can zoom on my password. I already see it.
No. I don't think we're going to see that. Okay, well.
All right. So you just wait for it to log in.
Have you put the password?
I already did.
Oh, okay, fine. Let's see. Looks like it's not there anyway.
So
there you go.
You see it? So these are beauticians.
Okay.
All this. It's over 6,000 beauticians.
All right.
So if you know anyone by name, let's say my favorite beautician is called Nyawira. I just search. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Oh, just in case.
Yeah. So you get to see who they are. You get to see the ratings. This is a 4.4. You scroll, you see what other people are saying about her. Awesome job, but keep time. You came too early. That's weird. Thank you.
Came too early.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. It's a good complaint.
Yeah. Love your work. Actually, super proud. So you get to see what they're saying. You see the products that they get to use. You get to see the gallery as well.
Oh, nice.
See, this is their job. If you see up here, she's saying she's from Karen. Her services take less than 30 minutes.
Beautiful.
If you don't like what she's doing, you just search somebody else.
Okay. And same applies to almost every service that is there in.
Yeah, so like say Hamisa, I just click service. I see she does wedding makeup, which is 2,500. So you can already see the pricing before. You see the gallery, you like it. So you just click book.
Let's talk about the pricing briefly.
Yeah.
And most of them will have perhaps different prices.
Yeah, most
Does
of
it
them
not then bring a bit of conflict? Because then you want to have a standard price. Of
we set the standard. You can't go below this and you can't go above
this. Okay.
So if you guys are 2 in the house, you just click on top here. It auto-calculates itself. So if you're maybe 10, that's what you get.
All right.
So you can see the cost overall is 22,000. But you're going to be asked to pay 4,500, which is 20%.
Oh, 20% for
so
commitment.
That the beautician, the beautician
is there room for bargaining and all that?
You can't.
You cannot.
You cannot.
The prices are standard.
They're standard.
So how do you make your
check.
money? How do they make their money? How,
Yeah, so the 20% is for commitment, so that the beautician doesn't leave the house and then you change your mind.
Right.
We earn that 20%.
Okay.
And then once it's done, the beautician will prompt you with the app to pay the other amount, which is theirs. They earn 80%.
Okay.
Compared to the old traditional salons where they get like a 30% commission. So you select your date. You can select 1 hour from now.
Okay.
Or 30 days. You have a whole calendar right there. Specify your time, say 8:30 in the morning. Now, if I continue, it's supposed to know my location right there by itself. You see, it knows where I am.
Please make sure they don't come,
Yeah,
right.
I'm not going to go through. So I can change because I can book while I'm seated here, but I want the service in Karen tomorrow.
Okay.
So I can change. If I click change, it goes to
So if this particular person is booked maybe for tomorrow,
it's going to say.
It's going to tell you.
Now, when you're setting up as a beautician, you set the time you're in.
Okay.
So it actually doesn't double book, but it can reroute to somebody if you don't accept it. So it reroutes to somebody who's the same quality as you, same ratings as you as a beautician.
So one goes to Play Store to get the application so that you can register. So now if I click finish, after indicating, I can even go ahead and indicate my house number, my estate, just for details. Even go ahead and put preferred services, products. Maybe I only use Maybelline products. If I click finish, that's it. I'm just supposed to put my M-Pesa number right there. And then it's going to deduct 20%, and now the booking is valid. Okay.
Yeah.
What happens to those ones who would wish to get services from, Tausi, but they actually do not want to register?
We have dial a beautician.
Okay.
Just call 0111 38 83 83.
All right.
That means we can do it manually for you.
Okay, so what are some of these challenges that you get to experience in this space of e-commerce that is quite delicate but equally quite flexible and diverse?
I think 2 problems have been the hugest, which is quality control.
Okay.
You might get different skin tones from different guys, and our beauticians are very professional, but sometimes clients want their makeup done in a certain type of way. They want a certain type of haircut. So that quality control, that has been a problem in both angles for clients and for beauticians. And I don't know how we're going to fix that. We've been trying to educate them mostly on understanding the client first before they even start the service.
And you have gotten complaints where someone says, well, I got a reaction after your beautician used this product on me.
Actually, it's funny because, ratings and reviews are different.
Yeah.
So ratings is what you get. That's like a 5-star. This is a 5-star beautician.
Yes.
Reviews are comments. So you might be a 5-star, you did a nice job, but the comments are like, okay, you are talking too much about situations while you are working on me. Kindly next time, make sure you're not talking as much. So we're trying to make sure beauticians understand the environment they're in the minute they walk into your house or your workspace.
Well,
Yeah.
technology continues to evolve, and we appreciate the numerous, people that are coming up to tap into technology to just be creative and to offer solutions, for the numerous markets that are there. Well, time flies pretty much. As we sum it up, what would you say? What would you tell someone who wants to get into this space in terms of business, of e-commerce, and the benefits that are obviously out there for people to see?
I feel like we don't have enough founders in Kenya, and we also don't have enough developers, so it takes a lot of time to actually build something. And the reason we don't have enough founders is because people are scared. Building your dream, building something that was in your head, bringing it out live, it's a bit scary. But I think my advice to people, I was told by somebody, they gave me an example and told me, if you're driving a car and it's raining and your car has some issues, if you stay in the car and just put hazards, nobody knows what you're doing inside the car. People will just pass you by. But if you walk outside, you open your bonnet and try fixing it, people will help you. Because they understand you're trying and you're stuck. Same thing applies with founders. If you have that amazing idea, if you just stay with it, nobody will know. Probably the person who's trying to fund your sector is just waiting for you to start. You don't even have to have revenue, you don't have to have users just yet. So my advice is just start. Africa, specifically Kenya, is a very nice ecosystem for startups. And I would urge you to just start, build something.
Well, beautiful application there, beautiful way of just, joining clients as well to business persons. And, the growth of technology and innovation continues. And like Amos would tell you, it is important that you start. If you have that magical idea, it can only help, it can only be useful if at all it is implemented. Amos Kimani, the CEO Tausi application, you can check him out online and see whether then this is an app that would come in handy to address that need that has not been met just yet. My name is Linda Alela on this edition of Disruptive Friday.